Hey, good morning everybody. Welcome back to the kitchen and another AeroGarden update video. I haven't done one of these for a while. We did the daily updates right from the beginning up till about 1 month. So if you want to come back and check those videos, I have a whole playlist right from the unboxing and setup of the AeroGarden all the way up to 1 month, so you can see the growth as we go. But what we've been starting to do now is basically just do updates as we have to do certain tasks with the AeroGarden. So today happens we have to do a big trimming because the herbs are growing like crazy, a few of them, and we also have to give it some more water, but we also have to give it some more plant food, and the plant food we have to add every 2 weeks. So this will be the third time that we've had to do the plant food, the liquid plant food in there. So let's jump in. We'll show you the update. Everything, if you've been watching, obviously everything's been growing quite well, except for the mint. The mint's still not going. So what I'm gonna try to do today is trim some of the other herbs down just to make sure the mint can get enough light that it's actually going to start to grow. Because it's growing, but it's really not taking off like I thought it would be. But let's check it in and we'll go and take a look, and we'll add some plant food, add some water, and then we'll do a complete trim of all the AeroGarden. Okay, here we go. Now, this is the third time we'll have to add some water. So let's first take a look. So when you need to add water, what happens is it says add plant food, and then press the little flashing red button there. So let's get the plant food. All right, so it's time we'll add the plant food. This is the third time that we have had to add the AeroGarden plant food. We're going to shake it up before we put it into the AeroGarden, and we're going to put in just on the top here, take off the lid, and put in 2 full capfuls. So it's the first one there, and then the second one. And I haven't filled it up with water in a couple of days, so it does need a little bit of water, so it's always a good idea to check that as well. So I'm going to top it up with a little bit of water. And you'll actually see how much this takes to put in. And we just fill it up to where the marker is. If you wanted to see that in the prior video, we do have a prior video with the light warning light that you can check out in our playlist. And then we'll just put the lid back on and tap the red button. It's going to go back to the reset and the timer will start. So we have 14 days until the next plant food goes in, and then we had 42 days planted here for the AeroGarden. So coming along quite nicely. And we'll take a look at the herbs here, and what we'll do is we're going to trim off some of the bigger herbs here. In order for the mint in the middle there, the mint is really not doing that well. It hasn't really from the beginning. We've got just a little sprig started there. So raise the light a little bit. I'm going to trim off a lot of the dill and some of the basil as well. So the mint, you can see here, is just not really working. So we want to get some light in there to make sure it can get enough the nutrients from the light. So I'm going to trim off a lot of the dill. And just going through, and you can trim off. We want to leave about 1/3 of the plant on there. We don't want to trim it back too much, but the dill really grows like crazy. So don't be afraid if you're growing AeroGarden with the herbs. Don't be afraid to trim back the dill. It definitely grows like a weed. So you'll have a lot of that. So I'm just taking off the larger branches here that are touching the top, just to thin it all out. And there's still lots of growth starting from the bottom still, so I can really trim it back. We'll get a nice handful of fresh dill. And I've got so much dill that I'm probably gonna start drying some. I've got it in the fridge and I keep it in a Ziploc bag, but I will probably have to start to dry some. So I'll do a bit of research on that, the best way to dry it, because you can see here, that's just from one day we've taken that off, and I've taken off a similar amount probably about 2 days ago. So I have a lot of dill in the Ziploc bag in the fridge. So let's go in and now take off some of this is the Thai basil.
And we have a video on how to properly trim basil so it will keep growing. So if you want to follow and go back on that video, you can check that one out as well. So I'm just taking off the tops. We want to trim it. You want to trim this too as well, because you don't want it to go to seed. If it goes to seed, it will stop growing, or sort of, if it starts to flower, it will actually stop growing the leaves, and the leaves are what we want for cooking recipes. So there, we've cleared some of that out, and it's going to hopefully give our mint, our little lowly mint down there, some more light from the AeroGarden lights. I'm thinking of quite a few sprigs. I'm just looking for the spots to cut this off. Like I said, if I have another video on how to properly trim the dill, or sorry, not the dill, the basil, and you can check that out so you know kind of where to trim so it will continue to grow. So we've taken that down quite a bit, given a bit more light here for the mint, and you can kind of see it there. It's only got one little sprig coming up, and that's it. It's just not taking its time, that's for sure. And there's a good look at the AeroGarden. This 42 days growing, and I'm just going to check the Genovese basil if there's any spots I can trim out. But it's definitely slower growing than the Thai basil, so I had nothing really to kind of trim. Checking there.
AeroGarden update. We've got quite a bit of herbs here. I'll show you that. We've got that's the dill we harvested. I have to make more refrigerator pickles, and I will use this for the dill. I'm gonna do a video on that so we can kind of see it. And then we got some nice of the Thai basil. So I'll give this a wash. I like to kind of wash it off before we use it, but I'll give that a wash, and we'll use this in an upcoming recipe. So quite a bit, quite a good handful of basil, which is kind of nice. So we'll rinse that off, and we'll get cooking with it. So thanks so much for joining me, everybody. It's been a few days, obviously, since we did our last AeroGarden update. I'm kind of doing these, like I said, about every week or so now, to see if stuff grows, or as we have some, something that happens that we have to do, like today with the feeding. But it's kind of fun to see it grow along. I've got way too much dill. I have to probably start drying some dill, because actually in the refrigerator in a Ziploc bag, I have a ton of dill already. The dill I'm actually trimming almost every day down. It's crazy how quickly it actually starts to grow. So I know there's been a few people that have commented on prior videos that have just been starting their own AeroGarden, and get ready for dill if you're doing the herbs. So that will definitely happen. Thanks for following along. And make sure that if you're not subscribed to the channel. Helps out the channel. We're going to be getting back into live streams. It's the summer. Everybody's out enjoying the sunshine, so we're taking a bit of a break on some of the live streams, but I will have them. If you see one scheduled, by all means drop in and see me. You can join in live, ask questions. We'll cook a meal in basically an hour, healthy meal, using some of the herbs from the AeroGarden as well. If you're not able to join me live, you can always subscribe to the channel. Check out some of the past videos. We have a whole playlist of live videos you can check back on. All the recipes are in the description below. So if you wanted to follow along, put it onto your TV or onto your computer and just kind of fast forward along to the different steps of the recipe. But it's always great if you can join me live. We do typically do live streams 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5 Mountain Time. But again, like I said, we've been taking a bit of a break for the summer because I'm getting outside and joining the good weather before it turns into winter and we're stuck inside more. But we'll be getting back into live stream. So like I said, subscribe and join the channel, turn on the notifications. If I do go live, you'll get notified when the live streams are starting. And before you leave the video, make sure to hit the thumbs up if you did like this. It always helps out the channel. And I will leave a link at the end of this video to the AeroGarden playlist. So if it's your first time watching or you want to catch up on some of the past AeroGarden update videos, I'll have a whole playlist there and you can watch some of the other videos. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you on the next video.